Good morning, party people. Welcome to the first ever Brent Waters Ableton music production live stream. Basically going to be taking you through my workflow and process as I work through my two projects, being Chelsey and the Noise and Cat Named Monkey. Chelsey and the Noise is currently working on a brand new album that we're hoping to come out in a couple of months. Today, what I want to look at is a song called Even If I Try, which is going to be off on the new album. Chelsey does a great job in singing this song. It's all spooky and Scooby-Doo themed, which I think is super cool. But when I'm cranking it up in my car, I notice that the frequencies in the vocal are just really hot. They're coming in really, really hot, and there's certain pieces that make my ears kind of hurt a little bit. So the idea there is that if you have a certain frequency when you're turning up your track super hot, that's kind of piercing and it makes you have to turn the track down. You can go in there, clean up that frequency on that vocal a little bit, and therefore you can still crank the volume and not have anything kind of being really super piercing. So right now, if you guys can hear in the background, this is kind of just a cool little bit of an intro of the song. But let's dive into Ableton, check it out. So switch over to here. Right? Hello. Awesome. For the Ableton project now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this kind of delayed auto filter sound that we hear right now. Make sure I've got my keyboard set up right here. Yeah, we can do kind of a slow fade here. Make it cool. And there we go. All right, so let's hear a little bit of the vocal coming in here. It's gonna be really kind of in front in the mix.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always never enough, things got a little rough, I got tough. Learn to play my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So close, yeah.
So right there, you can hear the vocal. It's super up front. It doesn't sound so bad in like really nice headphones, because I think it's able to like really replicate the frequencies correctly. But in some of the like car speakers or even like my AirPods and things like that, when I crank it up, I definitely hear that this vocal just has a frequency that's kind of poking through. So as you can see here, we've got our lead vocal here, and we got our left and our right. We usually like to do that where we take a vocal in the front, and then we pan the other two vocals to the left and right. It kind of gives us this cool effect that a band A Day to Remember does a lot, or the producer on A Day to Remember does a lot. And we like it because it kind of fills up the spectrum a little bit and gives Chelsey kind of some more room to play with their other vocal takes, because when you blend them all together, it kind of has this really cool chorus effect. So yeah, let's just listen to the lead by itself here. I'm going to solo this and play it out here.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even
So it's super aggressive, and what we have on the vocal now, as you can see, we've got a little bit of auto-tune, we've got some RX8 voice, what is this? This is the denoised plugin, so this kind of just takes away some of the room sound when she's recording. We got the de-esser on, of course, because you got to have a de-esser. And then here, I think this is like a de-breather thing that I have, breath control from Nectar. This is cool. I recommend doing your breaths manually. We usually throw this on while we're working on the track, just to make them not so, not to hit the compressor so hard, but we'll probably go through when we're done and take some of the breaths out. I got this nice little EQ that just kind of boosting up a little bit of the highs and cutting a little bit of the low mids. We might revisit that today. Compression on the Fab filter with the Pro-Q3 just to get some nice, gentle, transparent compression. We got EQ just to get rid of some of the lower frequencies that kind of pop up from some of these other guys. I'll put it after the compressor. Maybe I should put it before. We could experiment with that. And then over here, see I got another Pro-Q that I kind of have turned off right now, but here is the Nectar 3. This is kind of doing some of the saturation. It also does kind of cool little effect where we take 50% of the vocal, or maybe in this case 29% of the vocal, and send it through an auto-tune. So you kind of hear another 2 layers of vocals stacked on top of each other. The auto-tune vocal and the normal vocal. And then we've got this bad boy here. This is a Joey Sturgis gain reduction plugin. This is just like a one knob compressor. It's pretty cool in the sense that it allows you to really kind of crank the compression down and give it that more like alt rock, metal rock kind of effect. We can hear what it does actually really quick. So if I play this.
even when I try, even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even
Now it's off.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me.
So it's definitely adding some volume, but it's also just adding a lot of kind of grit. So we might turn down the mix down a little bit on this actually, just to give it back it off a little bit here.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me.
but there's still something in there that's really, really hot. So we're gonna actually grab this Pro-Q here that I have here. And right now you can see it just kind of lowering off some of the lows and highs. I'm actually just gonna delete these and start fresh here. And we're gonna figure out where that frequency is that's kind of really driving us crazy. So to do that, I'm gonna kind of take this up here. I'm gonna take the Q up. There we go. So it's really kind of like a spike. I'm not gonna hurt my ears immediately by doing that, but we're just gonna solo and kind of pan through and see which frequencies are really, really hurting our ears. So let's check this out.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never.
We got a little bit there. I heard a little bit down there.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough.
So I think that 5K range, that's what I'm hearing in the car specifically. So we're just gonna take a little dip down here, make it nice and narrow.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try
So A and B,
tight,
turn
you
it on and
find me.
off.
Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learned to play in my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So close, yet so far.
So I think that helps a little bit. Let's go down a little bit more here.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when
Now I'm gonna turn up my vocal or my headphones a lot here, so to make sure I can really hear
even
it.
when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learned to play in my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So
The big thing about Pro-Q is you have the undo button here, which I'm a big fan of. So let's check that out. Let's gonna undo this real quick.
even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight.
And I'm gonna take the gain reduction off just a little bit because I'm not hearing it as much as I would like to. So I want to be able to sure I can hear the changes of what I'm doing here.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learned to play in my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So close.
So it's doing a little bit. I'm still not hearing a whole lot. So let's actually try moving it before the first compressor and see how that sounds.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm
I definitely hear it more there, actually. So let's turn that gain reduction back on, the gain reduction plugin. Let's turn this on and off here. Passive EQ. Oh no, where'd it go? Fab filter, Pro-Q. Where are you? Hey, where'd you go? Oops. Oh, it didn't move. Move it back. There we go.
even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learn to
Yeah, so that's definitely helping a little bit. I'm gonna make an executive decision here. Usually I say executive decision because me and Chelsey run everything by each other, so we'll see what she says. I'm just gonna turn this mix down a little bit more. It's really in your face. And let's take the slay down a little bit too here. And let's watch the compression.
even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got.
All right, and lastly, we're gonna try it after the compressor and see how that sounds. So a lot of this is just A-Bing stuff and see what you like the best.
Even when I try, even when I try, even when I try tight, you find me. Even when I know
Control
I'm
Z
right,
to
even
check out the other
ahead,
version.
you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things
Back.
got a little rough, I got tough. Learn to play in my own way.
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be best after the gain reduction here. So what we did here, just to recap, we took the mix down to the Joey Sturgis here to give it less like aggressiveness. We took the slay down a little bit. We got the body down a little bit too. And then here we're gonna see if there's anything else we can clean up in the vocal as well. So let's go play it.
Even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learn to play in my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So close, yet so far. So close, yet so far.
I'm hearing a little bit here too. Let's try to make it really drastic.
Even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough.
All right, check it with the mix now. So we're going to unsolo.
Even when I try, even when I try to hide, you find me. Even when I know I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. Things got a little rough, I got tough. Learn to play in my own way, and I would've got away with it any other day. So close, yet so far. So close, yet so far.
All right, I think that sounded pretty good now. Let's check it here with the chorus now.
Even when I try to admit mistakes, you found me out. Oh no, I'm going down. I know my wrongs are right. To admit mistakes, you found me out. Oh no, I'm going down. I know my wrongs are right.
Yeah.
You found me out. Oh no, I'm going down. I know my wrongs are right, but I would've got away with it any other time.
So I think that sounds better. I think that does. It's subtle, but I think it's going to help us a lot. And now the next step, of course, is to export this and listen to it in the car. But while we're here, let's go ahead and just see if there's anything else we can do to make this vocal not so aggressive. And we're going to look at our chain real quick. Auto-tune, that's not going to do too much. The D-voice is not going to do too much. The DS isn't going to do too much. This is the debreather, nothing. The passive EQ was obviously going to do a lot to boost the highs, but I think that's okay. I'm not hearing too much in the really highs because you can see it's boosting around 8K. So let's just loop this real quick.
No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me.
So it's just doing a subtle boost. I'm not too terribly concerned about that. Nectar, it looks like Nectar's just doing the pitch plugin because everything else is off. So I'm actually just going to delete these, make it simpler. And then what I'll do here, which I highly recommend to a lot of people, is just rename your effects here. I'm pretty sure you can do. Why can't I see it? Maybe I have to make it bigger. Huh. Oh, I think I have to group it. That's why. So when you group things, you can rename the group. Am I tripping? Can you not rename the group? There you go. So I'm just going to name this one so I remember what it is. I'm going to say 50% auto-tune. It's not exactly 50%, it's like 29%, but I'll know what that means, right? So now I always know that this will be 50% auto-tune, and that way I won't mistake it for anything else. And then I'll just collapse this, make it smaller. I'm also going to make these guys smaller just so they don't get in the way. Cool. Pro-C, let's see how much
no,
compressor
I'm
we're
right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me.
So with Pro-C, just a quick reminder, if you don't have it, you can always see how much compression you're getting right here. And right now we're getting about 3 dB of compression. I'm going to go ahead and give us a little more compression, see what that does.
No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right.
Cool. So that's just going to help the gain. It's right now when it hits the gain reduction, it's just going to be that much easier. You can see here right now I have a vocal chain. This is from a song called Right Now we're working on. I just brought it in here. I can actually ungroup this just to get rid of that. There we go. Now make it a little cleaner. The EQ8, let's listen to what that's doing exactly.
No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never
So nothing really, just rolling off any lows we might have. We might be able to take this up even more.
No, I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even.
Yeah, I don't really have a difference for that 60 hertz. And just a quick reminder, if you guys don't do this already, it's important to high pass anything that doesn't have low frequency in your track, because even if it doesn't have anything going on down there, there's still data down there. It's really weird. And working in like a digital audio workstation, a DAW, data is digital, and data usually means that there could be other things going on besides just sound. So if there's something down there, it means that the program is going to have to do even more processing and more work to figure out what's down there and how to potentially render it as audio, even though it's not even audio. So just a friendly reminder to always EQ your lows out. All right, this gain reduction thing is still kind of ticking me off a little bit. Let's check it out.
No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right.
So this guy isn't doing too much now, which I think is actually better. Before.
No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough.
Looks like it's only hitting about 2 dB of compression. This is the gain reduction, yep. And outputs. Let's go ahead and put more compression.
No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're.
So yes, it's not doing a whole lot of gain reduction. It's only doing about 2 dBs of gain reduction. Usually with this one, you kind of want to slam it harder because the idea is that it's got its own built-in threshold, which obviously means how much compression it's getting, and therefore it can, to kind of do a little bit more than what we're doing with it now. However, at 2 dB, it's not doing much, but we're getting the clarity and the sound tonality from it. It's the same kind of idea when I like to run here. I'll show you guys real quick. I like to run a lot of my sounds through this bad boy right here. This guy can actually move over here. All right, which there, number 3. So this is the 1176 compressor. Oh yeah, I've got cameras all over this room, so I'm excited to show you guys. This is all in my first live stream, but eventually we'll see even more of the studio. But this guy is a 6176 preamp and compressor built in together. I love this guy. This is one of those things where, yes, it does compression, but it also just colors the sound, both the 1176 circuit and the 610 circuit, which is this half is the 610, the preamp, and the right side is the 1176. I'll probably use this in a future video, especially on the vocals for some of the other songs that we haven't processed through here. This song does already have a little bit of compression on it because you can see, here you can see that this track here is the original lead track, and this track here is the new lead, which just means it's run through the 1176. And you can see already just in the actual waveform, this one is much more compressed. Like, look at this guy, right? So it already trimmed a lot of the transients for us, so it's already doing a little work. So we have 3 compressors running on this track right now. The Pro-Q3 just doing a little bit. The 1176 did a lot in the beginning, and now this gain reduction just doing a little bit, just to give it that like pump that you get in like alt rock. Because this song, I did want the vocals to be like kind of aggressive and in your face. All right, so now that we've done this, let's go ahead and listen back right now with the Pro-Q that we added at the end.
No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right.
So this guy is barely doing anything. I think it's more of like a catch-all. But this guy right here, is you can hear is doing a lot of the heavy lifting that we needed to do. So let's go ahead and A-B it one more time.
No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. No, I'm right. Even ahead, you're right behind me. Always, never enough. though I'm right, even though I'm right, even though I'm right, even.
Yeah, just listen to the "No, I'm right." I'm gonna go ahead and play that part back a couple of times. I know this is probably really annoying hearing it, but hey, it's live. I'm doing this live. But you guys are gonna be able to hear the difference between when it's on and off relatively quickly. So let's go ahead and try that again.
Though I'm right, even.
That's on.
Though I'm right, even.
So just hear that no. It comes in a lot hotter, and there's something that you instantly want to turn to the volume and turn it down. So I'm pretty happy with this actually right now. I didn't think I was going to be as happy. Obviously, we had to play around with the placement of it, but I think after the gain reduction was probably the best for us because this is adding some tonality, and this is kind of cutting that tonality a little bit away, at least in the bad frequencies. Let's try to take it down a little bit more.
Though I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always never enough. Though I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always never enough. Though I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always never enough.
So now I'm adjusting the Q of the band, which is obviously how much of that spectrum that it is carving out. It's literally small Q is going to be just a little tiny notch, and this is a little bit bigger. When we started, it was kind of like this. Now we're kind of like this, just to hear, because I still hear a little bit extra.
Though I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me. Always never enough. Though I'm right, even ahead, you're right behind me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And that's kind of where I'll probably pause in these headphones. I do have, here, I'll show you guys over here too again. I do have, oh, that's the wrong camera. I have these headphones too. These are the Audiz Audizi, I don't know how to say it. LCD2 Classics. These are great, amazing headphones. I also have these run through that guy right there, which is a headphone amplifier. So the idea there is that this takes the output from the Focusrite that I have over here, tucked away there, you can see it there. It sends into the headphone amplifier and then out here, and that's also running with Sonarworks. So the idea is that it's going to be as flat response as possible. These headphones don't have a flat response. If anything, actually boosts frequencies here. So I think that's pretty good for now until I go back and kind of look at the track as a whole and try to remix it. But yeah, so I think this is pretty good. I think this is a good start. So this is even if I try a song, we're actually going to switch it up now. I'm going to save this. And if you guys don't, I always recommend saving as different versions. So I'm going to say V34. And then I'm going to say what I did in the track here. So I'm going to say notched some lead vocal frequency out. Save. Cool. All right, I'm going to switch my camera here a little bit. Hello everybody. You can see a little bit of the studio behind me. It's still a work in progress, but I'm really excited for when it's done. Shout out to JIK Acoustics. Y'all are taking forever to get my panels out, but you guys make amazing, good sound treatment panels. So when those are done, this whole room will be sound treated. I'm really excited for that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and try to find this other track that I was working on as well. Let me pull up my folders here. I don't want to show you guys everything I'm working on, so there's some surprises later on. All right, so this next track that we're going to open up is called Right Now. And what this track is, it's more of a pop track, kind of more like a love track, a love song. It's our first love song Chelsey has ever made. The other songs have always kind of like been a little bit darker. This one is much more uplifting. For a while, I was making like kind of pop beats, and then that's all I was really making, and so that's all really Chelsey had to write lyrics for. So we wrote this song. It was awesome, and then we kind of totally flipped it on its end, changed the like pop melodies with the basses and everything, and really added in some like high, heavy hitting guitars in the beginning. So yeah, let's go ahead and check this guy out. As soon as it's done loading, it's taking its sweet time. Do a little shot of the toys here if you guys want to see them. My favorite little thing. I got DJ Patara on the left there. I got my Akira VHS from, God, I don't even know. I think it's from the 90s, 2000s, but I love that movie, and I'm so glad I got that VHS. I got Batmonk. You guys don't know about Batmonk? Highly recommend it. It's an awesome little movie. And then I got the Evangelion right there. That's Eva Unit 01, I believe, from Evangelion. That's the Funko Pop. You also can't see it, but to the right of that is a pretty cool Megazord. But yeah, I like to show toys a lot. So during the streams, you'll start to see a lot more toys, which I think is pretty cool. All right, and then of course we're gonna go ahead and check the chat here. There's nobody in the chat, and I don't blame you because it's my first stream. So if you guys do stop by at any point, thank you so much. But let's go ahead and see if this track is loaded or not yet. Still loading, of course. Of course. It's a big file, so I don't really blame it. It's probably got a lot to load here. But thank you for your patience if you're watching this. Appreciate you. Cool. We're all loaded up now. All right, so this is right now. I'm going to go ahead and play the beginning just so you can hear a little bit of the intro here.
Don't need a crystal ball to know where you are. It's where I wanna go. I take your face over any place, any day, every day. Everything can feel so unknown. Laying here with you, I just know. Let's let it all unfold. Leave it all untold. Cause right now you're all I need to know. Right?
Same thing, and you can actually see my CPU's bumping because of how track's almost done, but it's got a lot of processing power on it. So here we're gonna go ahead and check out what's going on over here. So here's this vocal soloed.
I take your face over any place, any day, every day, everything can. I take your face.
Cool. And so I have this thing called analog lead here. That's where the vocal is. I call it analog lead because I process it a little bit differently. Than the other one, you can see I use this VC76 and the VC2A. This is emulating a 1176, which is, again, this little thing that I have down here. That's the 1176. It's just an emulation. I recorded these before I actually owned the units. That's why we use the emulation. And then the 2A is this guy here. I cannot wait until I can own a 2A. It's an optical compressor, meaning that I can't really explain it very well, but it uses lights and that's how it can bounce off. But basically what the idea is that this is really, and it's got a 20 ratio, and it's really kind of taking the attack of the vocal, and anything that's kind of peaking at the really high transients, anything that's coming in really hot, it just tamed them down real quick, and then it's got a pretty fast release too, and a pretty fast attack. So that way it's just like kind of bumping it down real quick. And then the 2A over here is going to do the heavy lifting of actually doing the compression. The 2A doesn't, this is a FET compressor, which I think it means it's like a chip that it uses or something. I mean, it can go a lot faster. The optical compressor is a lot slower in terms of the attack, but it just sounds really gooey. So if you have something with a lot of heavy transients and you want to run it into something like a 2A, I would recommend making sure you compress it at the beginning with something else, so that way those transients don't spike it, and the 2A can work a lot smoother and better. The 2A and the L76 I'm using are made by Softtube in collaboration with Native Instruments. Huge shout out to Softtube. I love all the stuff that they make. They also make that passive thing I use, and you can see I use those on a lot of my tracks. Eventually, if I ever upgrade into Universal Audio, I'll probably try some of the Universal Audio software. I only have the hardware from them now. But that might be something cool to check out in the future. But so let's go ahead and EQ this bad boy. So we're going to throw on the Pro-Q, my big old plugin folder here. Cool. Throw this at the end. Now you can see I also have a little bit of that gain reduction deluxe on this track too. And I think that's kind of the same thing. It's probably causing the same problem as before. It's adding that tonality while still adding some unwanted frequencies.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything can. I take your face.
So we're hitting this one a lot harder. You can hear this one's doing a lot more compression than the other track was. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this guy, just kind of take it down a little bit at the Q. And remember last time it was around like 47, 5K. That's where we kind of had a sweet spot last time. So we're gonna take that down.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything.
Wow, that's a huge difference already. So here it is.
I take your face over any place. I take your face over any place. And
it almost makes the vocal sound approachable. If it's like a girl if it's like a girl or a guy at the bar, or whatever you're interested in at the bar, it's a difference of someone who is like acting very approachable versus someone who, like, you can tell you should back the hell away. You don't want to talk to that person. So this is kind of a weird reference. I apologize. But so yeah, we've got this dip down at 4,700. Let's gonna sweep it a little bit.
Take your face over any place, any day, everything can. I take your face over any place, any.
So here at 3,300, we lose a little bit of the, like, that that sound that makes the vocal so powerful. So obviously that's kind of our minimum. We don't go anywhere near that.
I take your face over any place, any day, every day, everything in fact.
And here it kind of sounds a little narrow, right? The vocal starts to sound a little...
I take your face over any...
almost not nasally, but kind of nasally. So I think it's going to be in that same kind of sweet spot around 5K.
I take your face over any place, any day, every day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take...
Cool. And let's see if there's anything else we can grab.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over...
Yeah, I don't know if this really has anything else besides this one.
I take your face.
But I am seeing a lot of low end frequency here,
face.
so let's just get... that should never be like that.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take...
And that makes me wonder, did I not... oh yeah, I did high pass it back here. So something else is probably adding a little bit to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this. And I'm going to throw it before the gain reduction compressor. I bet the Nectar, let's see what Nectar 3 is doing here. I had mentioned Nectar 3 earlier, but just so you guys don't know, it's like a suite all-in-one. Oh yeah, same thing. It's just doing the auto tune here. So I could rename that too, just so I remember what it does next time. Group it. Get the actual effect up, rename. Oops. Rename 50% auto tune. Cool. So Nectar 3, just a quick little shout out to Nectar 3. It's the first audio vocal plugin that I invested in. I got it I still remember getting the CD of it. That's how old it was. I got the CD of it when it was Nectar 2. And it just has a bunch of presets in it. Now, if you're getting started with vocals and or you're working with a singer specifically, and you don't really know, exactly what you're trying to do or what you want to do yet, or maybe you don't even know what the hell you're doing. I mean, that could be a very weird thing. It took me a long time to know what I'm doing today. Nectar 3 is Nectar in general. I think you can only get Nectar 3 now. Nectar 3 is a great plugin because it has all these really cool presets on it. So one day I'll show a video dialing them more to that. But you can kind of go in there, experiment, and check things out, see what you like, see what you don't like. And also, everything comes in modules. So if there's something that's coloring the sound you like, but there's something that's not, you can just turn off that module. So a great example is whenever me and Chelsey are doing like big gang vocals where you have multiple people talking, or you want her to sound really big and larger than life, we use a Nectar 3 preset. And I think it's called something along similar Mumford & Sons, or it's called, and they have Lumineers preset. They have all these cool presets that are named kind of differently, but they can give you a good starting point for chasing those types of effects. So I don't know. It's cool. I really like it. But just another quick little tip. Yeah, this is all full of neat little tips. So I just did this real quick. Let's just double check, make sure we like this EQ8 here.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact.
Yeah, not even do anything. We can see here.
Your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place.
See, even with this on, you still have data down here. That's why you always gotta trim the data.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any...
Okay, so...
I take your face over any place, any day, everything. I take your face over...
We're just going to A, B what you did here. So right now the Q is after the DS. Let's put it before the DSer. That should be... actually, we'll go with the DS before. It doesn't really matter.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day, everything in fact. Take your face over any place, any day.
So I'm just going to take it down because I noticed when I had just the lead solo and all the background, it did lose a little bit there.
I take your face over any place, any day, everything. I take your face over any place.
So listen to your face. I'd take your face. Listen to that.
I take your face over. I take your face over.
You're in the second one. It almost kind of punches you a little bit. So I'm going to actually take this down a little bit more even so we can really hear the difference.
I take your face over any place. I take your face over and I take your face.
Yeah, it's like 9 days. So let's go back to where we had it, about 9 minus 6. All right, now let's check it in the mix.
I take your face over any place, any day, every day, everything. In fact, take your face over any place, any day, everything. In fact, take your face over any place, any day, everything can feel so unknown. Laying here with you, I just know. Let's let it all unfold, leave it all untold, 'cause right now you're all I need to know. Right here, right now. You're my light, so baby, turn the lights down.
I feel like we can get actually, the vocals can be hotter now. So let's go to the chorus. So now what I just did is, I don't know if you guys saw, but I cranked up the volume on my headphones. I'm not going to do it to you guys because it might blow out the streaming or whatever. But I can definitely hear now that even though I crank it up, I don't move the turn down the vocal now. If anything, I hear that the bass can be louder. I hear a lot of other things can be louder, and I don't need to lean over to that lean over and immediately turn down the vocal or turn down the head on all the whole master output, because the vocal isn't piercing so much. Okay. Did that make sense? Did any of that make sense? I don't know. I hope it helped you. I am a big fan of vocals now, especially with awesome Chelsey. Huge shout out to Chelsey from Chelsey Noise. She does great vocal takes, and thank you for letting me use her vocals on this tutorial. But yeah, so I'm gonna save these now. You guys are officially a part of this new song. So yeah, if you guys like this, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe, follow, please, check me out. I really appreciate it. This is my first ever stream. I really appreciate you guys' support. I'm going to start doing monthly giveaways pretty soon, starting with FabFilter Pro-Q3. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed to be part of the giveaways. And yeah, if you like this song, let me know if you're excited for it. We got a new album coming out in about 2 months. We're going to work on a lot of Chelsey and the Noise stuff for the first. Cat Named Monkey, which is my other side project, is probably going to be coming a little bit later. It's a little more electronic, a little more dancey. Sorry, a lot more dancey, a lot more electronic. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Again, please like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz, however you're watching. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a cool little outro, listen a little more of this track, and then we'll call it a day.